Okay, so here we are, here with joined by Brian Itzkin, guitar maker based out of New York, right?
Yep.
So, Brian, you and I have talked a little bit here and there, mostly via, text message and stuff, and really appreciate you taking a couple of minutes with me here just to get to know you and help our clients get to know you a bit more as we just started representing your guitars here at GSI. So. Uh, I am curious to get things started. Where did you learn how to build guitars? How did you get into this?
Oh, the series of terrible choices. But when I was a teenager, I was taking guitar lessons at the local music shop. My teacher was a classical guitarist getting his DMA at the time. I wanted to learn like Van Halen licks and Led Zeppelin, but I was told no. But I grew to really like classical guitar. My dad was a amateur woodworker, had a wood shop in the basement. Read an article in the Times about a guitar maker. I think it was John Monteleone, who's also here in Long Island.
Hmm.
But kind of put two and two together. Bought a Martin guitar kit from the Martin Guitar Company in Pennsylvania. Built a really terrible guitar, but I loved every part of it, so I just kept at it. Mostly self-taught. I was mentored in design and aesthetics by Irvin Samaji, a steel string maker in California.
Mm-hmm.
But I was building steel string guitars. Classical guitars weren't really on my radar then. I built like maybe eight or nine guitars before I finished high school. The last five or so I sold, some of which were commissioned, some were just sold as spec guitars. Then I went to college, 2 years, lost literature major, didn't really know what I wanted to do. I wanted to be a guitar maker, didn't know if that was a possibility. After my sophomore year, my friend and I stayed on campus over the summer to be janitors, make a little extra cash, gave me a lot of free time to look up guitars, guitar making. I looked at the GSI website a ton. I found a guitar making course in the south of Spain by Stephen Hill, decided to take a semester off, did the guitar making course, never went back to school. I've just been at it ever since. In the early 20th century. A bit of a cliche, but Torres is my favorite. I even have his headstock design tattooed on my forearm over here.
Nice.
Um, I've kind of veered away from anything resembling a copy of a Torres at this point. I've taken a lot of influence from like Santos and Boucher. Boucher obviously from the Granada tradition as well. And then Vicente Arias, a lot of the great makers of that period. I really like a very light guitar. Not necessarily like everything built light, but overall weight under 1,500 grams. I like when the back kind of vibrates against your chest and gives you immediate feedback and you're playing. Um, I look for balance mostly. Not really too concerned about volume, although my guitarists tend to project very well.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, I just really enjoy the guitars that have been inspiring people for the last 150 years, and I try to go for that.
Hmm. So, do you have certain models that you build? I mean, I've seen a couple of your guitars. I've handled one that we had here. Um, do you have different models, let's say, or is it sort of how? Help me understand that. Like, if somebody's ordering a guitar or if we're getting a guitar, do you have XYZ model, or how does that work for you?
Sure. So I have my concert model, which is what I sent to you guys. That's my like full size normal modern guitar. I also build another guitar. It's based on a number of different Torreses, FE5 being the main influence. It's a little bit smaller bodied. I typically pair it with a shorter scale length, although I do also make it as a 650 model too. Um, I also make another one. It's more or less an homage to FE13, the Torres guitar made in 1860. I made the first one for Brandon Aker, and then from that, I've received a number of orders for them as well.
Hmm.
Um, I've also made a few guitars that are really small based on the Torres FE07, the one in the Yale collection, like really tiny, almost a little coat sized body with a 63 centimeter scale length. But that's just been like one or two.
Okay, so definitely leaning towards the traditional, the Torres stuff. You talked a little bit about balance as something that you're really striving for in your sound. Can you expand on that in terms of what somebody should expect? Picking up an Itzkin guitar, that a sound that you're really aiming for, or you know, anything more you can tell me on that front.
Sure. I really like guitars that sound good on every string. Like there are so many that you play where the G string will be weak or the E is dead after the 12th fret. That's just a pet peeve of mine. I always try to make sure that I have a pretty good general balance between every string and every note. I also really like the like polyphonic sound that you get out of a boucher. So I try to incorporate aspects of that tone into my guitars as well. I'm also pretty focused on playability. I like a fairly low action, not so low that it buzzes, but a bit lower than modern concert action so that it's a bit more comfortable for the player as well.
And then one other question I had for you is you had mentioned a very specific Torres guitar, FE05.
Hmm.
We touched on that. Can you point to something about that particular instrument that is appealing to you or attractive to you? Because Torres built, lots of guitars, varying different shapes and sizes and materials. What is it about that one that
Sure.
grabs
So
you?
I've never actually seen the guitar in person. I've never even seen a very good photo of it. The only photos I've ever seen of FEO5 are in the Romanios book, and they're all maybe an inch by an inch, black and white, a little fuzzy.
Yep.
Anyone has any photos, please send them to me.
Okay.
Uh, but just the proportions, it really spoke to me. It kind of reminds me of FEO4 La Leona too, but not quite as bulbous, a little less dreadnoughtish, for lack of better words. I also just love the four-piece Brazilian Rosa back, but just the general design overall, it felt like a modern guitar, but not quite, which was kind of what I was interested in anyway.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, Brian, thanks for spending a couple minutes with me here. And yeah, we'll get this up on our website, man.
Oh, thanks for having me.